How's it going? Let me start by, as usual, thanking everyone for posting their questions and making this video possible. Let's begin. Would the mafia's gambling operators ever use a security camera like Vegas does to inhibit cheating against the house, figuring the danger of losing money to customers is a lot more likely than being raided, especially if the precinct is on the take? I don't specifically know if any security cameras are in use, but I would assume after the Thomas and Rosemary Hoover episode, there very well may be cameras installed in certain gambling spots. I think local precincts were more likely to be on the take and preventing raids years ago as opposed to present day. When the Bonanno family stormed the social club, was a sit-down done between the bosses, and what did the other bosses think of it? This question is in reference to members of the Bonanno family entering the Lucchese's Bronx Social Club and causing a scene while disrespecting the Lucchese administration in the process. The incident happened prior to my induction, so I'm not aware of any sit-down that took place. I know that the years following, the blood between the two families was not good at all. When you were in the life, did you have a daily routine or did each day differ? For the most part, every day was different. And in that world, routines are not beneficial to you. Where were the Lucchese administration Christmas parties held, and did DeSantis carry on that tradition? I honestly don't know where they held them, or if Mikey kept the tradition up or not. During your time, did you know where the Bronx crew held their Christmas parties? Considering the Brooklyn and Bronx faction conflict existed during my time, I couldn't care less where they had their parties. Did you ever meet Peter Vario, and if so, what was your opinion of him? I believe I briefly met one of Paulie Vario's sons in a Long Island restaurant one night, and had no opinion of him. In regards to one of your previous videos about Roy DeMeo and Tommy Patera being mob serial killers, would you include Charlie Caniglia as a serial killer type, due to the fact that he seemed to get enjoyment out of killing people, as well as keeping trophies and souvenirs belonging to the victim? The answer is yes, I would put Charles in that category, as well as a lot of other guys. I know many members of that life had racing pigeons, such as Sonny Black Napolitano and Anthony Spiro. While you were part of that life, did you know anyone who kept pigeons as a hobby? I heard that Nicky Carrazzo always had pigeons, as did Tough Tony and Neil Migliori. Do you ever do any recreational shooting, or do you enjoy the use of firearms in any capacity? For instance, target shooting, hunting, historical collecting, etc. Both New York State federal and state felons are prohibited from possessing firearms. However, I would love nothing more to do some recreational shooting or invite a few people to come hunting with me, and who knows, maybe in the near future. How is Anthony and Vito Guzzo straightened down different families? Anthony, like Vito, was an associate of the Columbo family. The reason Anthony's a Lucchese member today is because of me. Who's responsible for a shelf guy? Meaning, there are hundreds if not 1,000 made guys. If one you don't know is on the shelf, and you have a business deal prior to him being shelved, and the business deal goes bad, is that on you or the family he was part of? Can a sit-down be called for lost money, or is it all on you? Typically, one of the members will be designated to handle a shelf member, and any deal someone had prior to the member being shelved is on them. A family shelves a member for a reason and doesn't take into account what business deals he was in the middle of at the time. You can go to someone to request to be heard, but there's no guarantee you'll be heard. And as far as compensation, you'll definitely receive none of that. Are guys in the life still involved with shelf guys? Is it forbidden to talk with a shelf member of another family other than your own? There are plenty of guys who spend time with and talk to shelf members. According to the rules, a shelf member is considered persona non grata no matter what family he's with. Can a civilian complain about a made guy abusing his power? Yes. If the civilian goes to another member, he could complain, and 9 times out of 10, that complaint will fall on deaf ears. When did guys stop wearing pinky rings? Are you a tracksuit guy? And are tracksuits still the outfit of choice by wise guys? Pinky rings were no longer a thing while I was in prison, as well as sweatsuits, which I never wore again since coming home in 2007. During my time, most of us dressed casual unless there was somewhere we had to go. If you were representing the Genovese family at a sit-down with the Bonannos, would you push for Anthony Pepitone to be shelved for his crew's actions? And what financial tax would you demand? To start with, it's up to Pepitone's superiors as to whether he needs to be taken down as a captain or not, I don't believe he did anything that warrants being shelved. As far as taxing the bananos, that figure would come from the Lucchese administration. But what I can say with confidence is that Pepitone in a sit-down with me would absolutely lose. Any memorable or funny stories involving Lenny DiMaria? The only one is one night, Lenny was reminiscing about when John Gotti and him were locked up in MCC, and he had all of us laughing. During your time, did you ever have to humble someone that came at you with the line, "Do you know who I'm with?" or "You know who I am?" Although there's a lot of that type of talk that goes on, thankfully, I never had anyone say those things to me. It's a very quick way to know exactly who a person is that talks that way. And the answer is nobody. As far as extortion goes, do wise guys still use the tactic of getting close to a business owner and once he's relaxed, send guys from their crew to cause problems and wreak havoc on the establishment, and then offer to fix the problem for payments? Or is it just friendly extortion? Extortion can come in many forms, including those mentioned. Friendly extortion is high on that list. I know of many instances where the problem a business experienced came from the same person offering to help make the problem go away. Can you identify the Columbo associate who was disrespectful towards yourself and Big John? Were there any issues brought up by the Columbos after his assault? I don't know his name. Big John told me he was away with him and called him a bug. At first he disrespected Big John and then tried the same with me, but got knocked out and got his nose broken. He was around Joey Amato, and Joey and I spoke. Actually, he laughed and said when he heard what happened, he knew it was me who did it. I did apologize for hurting the guy, but he fully understood. If you haven't liked this video yet, please do, as it helps with YouTube's algorithm. Also, if anyone would like to show their appreciation for videos like this, or more importantly, help me to continue making them, you can do so by donating with the Super Thanks icon down below or through the PayPal Cash App links in the video's description. And let me quickly add, I genuinely appreciate everyone who has shown their generosity. And for the final question, does it surprise you that Patty DelloRusso has gotten as far as he has, knowing how much he talks about guys behind their backs? Not in the least bit. If you've been listening to me, the mob is replete with treachery and betrayal, and Patty's just the poster boy. I got to know Patty well and witnessed all his character flaws, as did the guys who were close to him. I'll end with this. Do you know what Patty loves more than himself? Nothing.